Library. We started it, and I just realized we started it December 2nd, 2014, and we're simply an affiliate, a volunteer affiliate of the national and, in fact, the global Little Free Library movement, which was started 7 years ago in Hudson, Wisconsin by a gentleman named Todd Bolt. Todd, in honor of his mother, who was a school teacher, decided to build a small little red schoolhouse in front of his house and put it right there on a post, and he filled it with books. And he said, take a book, leave a book, to all of his neighbors and strangers even. And thus began a movement. Todd, really, his plan was to have, I think, a total of 3,000 Little Free Libraries, or a greater number of Little Free Libraries than were sponsored by the Andrew Carnegie Foundation. And it turns out that in 7 years, it's grown to 50,000 Little Free Libraries around the world. Kenya, the Philippines, China, many in Europe. But about 50,000, and that's just the number of officially registered Little Free Libraries. There are some that are out there that we don't even know about. So we started promoting this. We had 4 in the Yorba neighborhood of Pomona. And now we have, I believe, about 25, and I've been meaning to get back to you on that number because I have to kind of like go and find a lot of them. I find out about them a little bit at a time because other people are adopting this voluntarily. What we've been doing is simply promoting the idea of free neighborhood street-side libraries throughout the city of Pomona, in fact, surrounding communities. And Andy was one of the first picture of you here with our esteemed founders, Beth Brooks, Ms. Mosier, Ms. Maria Velasquez, and such. And it's been a lot of fun. The nice thing about Little Free Libraries is we have a wonderful public library, of course. However, there are going to be certain people, families, individuals who, for whatever reason, cannot or will not go to the public library. For me, and I have to admit this, it's because when I forget and I build up some fines and I don't have the money to pay off the fines, I kind of avoid the public library. By the way, the month of May is Fine Forgiveness Month with the County of Los Angeles Public Libraries. So go in mea culpa and get a fresh start on your library cards. So the idea is you simply put a box in front of your house on your side of the sidewalk, not on the city's easement, in a safe and hazard-free way, and you simply say, take a book, leave a book. I'll tell you what, 2 years ago I started my own little free library right up the street, and I primed the pump with some books that I had on my bookshelf that I wanted to, of course, pass along. The nice thing about Little Free Libraries, once you prime the pump, in most instances, with the exception of our laundromat libraries, the library maintains itself because people donate books, they take books, they donate books. So it's actually a very low maintenance, kind of a fun community project. Our school board member, Dr. Roberta Perlman, just loves her Little Free Library. She has a little journal in it and people leave her wonderful notes. And I kind of like looking out my window and seeing families or adults, college students stopping by and looking through the Little Free Library, just kind of, and I smile every time. Being a patron of a Little Free Library is also fun, because when I go visit a Little Free Library, yes, I could have ordered that book on Amazon or checked it out at my public library, but sometimes it's as if the book found me, that I was thinking and one, oh, I wanted to read that, or this is one of my favorite authors. It's kind of like a faith thing, right? The universe works in that way. Now, at the Learning Expo over this past weekend, we had a Little Free Library display, got to meet a lot of people and talk to them about Little Free Library in general. We had a raffle and 100 entries. The winning entry was Miss Irene Lopez, who lives, I'm not sure if in the Westmont or Phillips Ranch area. She was not able to attend today. I was going to present her with a Little Free Library, which is this one. And actually this was donated to us by Miss Nicole Popel, who is the steward of Little Free Library in Walnut. They're not librarians because librarian is a profession. It's a skill. It's a skill. We call them stewards. We don't call them owners. They are stewards of the library in front of their house. So Nicole generously donated that for us to add more libraries in the city of Pomona. Anyone can do this. You can buy these online from littlefreelibrary.org in Hudson, Wisconsin, but then they got shipped on them. Or you can just build them yourself. And we actually encourage people building them themselves because that's where the creativity and the fun happens. If you go Google Little Free Library images or Pinterest, you will see thousands and thousands of images of beautiful little free libraries, and they're very reflective of their owners. So, for instance, science fiction fans who love Doctor Who, the British television series, a lot of them have a blue TARDIS, which is a police call box, as their little free library. There are little free libraries that are miniature replica of the house in which they're in front of, and other things that are nautical themed, science fiction themed. Little free library stewards also, by the way, become curators. And so, for instance, if you have a particular interest and passion in mystery, in science fiction, in westerns, in spiritual books, you can orient your little free library in that direction, right? There's room for everything, and as I said, some people have little journals, some people have little night lights, all kinds of neat things. So we have information about little free libraries. I said we have about 25 in the city of Pomona. At last year's beautification, and in conjunction with the Lions Club, sponsored 3 little free libraries. We have one at Palomares Park, at the Garfield Neighborhood Center, and I believe we still have one at Washington
still
Park.
At Washington Park.
Yes, and of course we have one at the Center Street Hope Community Garden. It was sponsored by Pomona Rotary. Pomona Rotary has placed little free libraries at the Youth and Family Club of Pomona Valley and some other locations. Here's one that's in the Lincoln Park area. This is in the Yorba neighborhood. This one's nearby. That were our raffle winners last year, the Mid family in Diamond Bar. So it's a great program. And I encourage you all to simply look it up on the web. There's all kinds of information. We don't want to get into the, as I've said many times to Ann and Steve, I don't want to be in the little free library building business. The first 6 or 8 are very interesting and fun, and then it gets a little bit tiresome. But we do have a small number of starter little free libraries available. It's simply an unfinished, or it's a primed box. As we see back there, we have them available for just $100. You have to add your own door, plexiglass, the mounting post, which we have available through C&E Lumber, as well as the one-time registration fee with the national organization, which is only $42. You can sponsor these for other places. Now, we don't want to compete with libraries, okay? That's why we don't put a little free library in front of the library, carrying poles to Newcastle. And neither do we want to compete with school libraries. So we really don't need one at a school campus, for instance, an elementary school, because they do have a library. However, what's really fun, and Linda Fleming, one of our retired educators, sponsored a little free library very close to Barfield Elementary School, and another one very close to Kingsley Elementary School. So it's really nice as they're on a walking path to these elementary schools, so the kids can walk by on the way to or from, and they can check inside to see if something might have arrived just for them. So that's Little Free Library. Any questions at all?